Welcome back, everyone. Today I wanted to discuss a question that I had when I was making the transition to ultralight backpacking. And when I researched this question, I don't know, I got advice that went against what I think I would do now. And that is, when should I buy my first ultralight weight backpack? And if you read a lot of the forums, one of the things that a lot of people will suggest is to buy the backpack last, to put all of your money into the other gear, and then once you have all the other gear, then buy the backpack. Which makes sense, because if you're going to make a transition to smaller, lighter things, and the first thing you buy is the backpack, obviously all of your bigger, heavier things would not fit into the backpack, and if you could fit them in, they wouldn't be very comfortable. But I think I would like to turn that advice over on its head. And I would like to suggest to buy the backpack first, but with a little asterisk there. To not buy your final backpack that you think you're going to settle in with, but to buy a cheap ultralight backpack that is not necessarily disposable, but is not going to be the backpack that you're using exclusively 2, 3, 4 years later. Excuse me. And so one of the things that I did is I did start investing in some lighter gear, but I always questioned, well, the ultralight backpacks, there's no support, the straps are not as padded, there is no hip belt, that's that classic ultralight sort of backpack. And during the whole time, I'm thinking, like, am I even going to like that? And the second thing is, I was buying this smaller stuff and putting it into my big, huge backpack, and it just seemed kind of silly. And so what I ended up doing is I looked around for some cheaper backpacks, and I'm going to show you what I settled on in a minute. But I think what it did is it provided me with a lot of motivation to continue going down this road, because for one, it showed me that yes, I did like the fit. I did like not having the hip belt. So when it did come time to order my backpack, I realized that I didn't want a hip belt, so I didn't order that. It really kind of helped me tune my gear in, so that once I did start putting my gear in, it provided me some motivation of saying, geez, all right, if I change this piece of gear next, this piece of gear next. And it also made me really realize what I wanted in a pack, in a lightweight backpack, so that when I ordered mine, I looked at companies and I ordered some additional custom stuff that provided me with exactly what I wanted. Instead of guessing with my first backpack, by the time I bought my first legit ultra lightweight backpack, I knew exactly what I was looking for. So here's what I ended up doing. I cruised Amazon. Now, I know there's some backpacks in the range of like $25 on Amazon. I saw one Redditor who actually gave the same advice that I'm giving. Go with the backpack first. And the backpack that he bought for like $25 on Amazon, he was still using 3 years later. What I ended up doing is I looked a lot more closely at eBay, and this is the pack that I found, and I don't even know how to pronounce it, but I know some of the overseas viewers will know what it is. I don't know, I can't even, is this going to come out? I hope you can see that. So I'll put the name, actually I'm not going to put the name, I can't remember what the name is. But the model was our pen, whatever that is, right there. It's a 40-liter backpack, and from what I can figure, and maybe someone overseas could correct me in the comments, is that this is sold at a British store that is kind of like the American REI, or maybe a classier, not classier, but maybe something between REI and like a Dick's Sporting Goods or something like this. And this is kind of like their brand, kind of like REI has their own brand. So this is not, total junk, but this was $14, including shipping, off of eBay. And I almost just settled with this pack. This is the pack that I almost decided to keep and use for, the next couple of years. It weighs 2 pounds, which, again, my big backpack, fully loaded with the brain and all the straps, was close to 8. My big backpack with the head off, with the brain off and straps cut and with some other things taken out, I can get it to just above 6 pounds. So even moving just to this, I lost 4 pounds. Now this it has some minimal padding in the back. The shoulder straps are nothing to write home about. Has some load lifters. It does have a non-removable brain. And it did come with a waist belt, which I'm actually, I'm gonna leave it on. I left it on when I first got it just to see if I preferred it with or without. And hiking, I ended up doing all my hiking without it. But this backpack is going to go into the family rotation, so I decided not to cut them off so that whatever family member is using it kind of has that choice. Although I think by the end of this summer they'll probably be cut off. There's a couple trips I know my wife and daughter might be using this for that they might end up using the waist belt. So this is 40 liters. And oh, there's the brand right there. Is that going to come out? So however you pronounce that. Even brand new, this backpack is going for $50. And again, I almost just decided to stick with it instead of spending money for the next one. But it has one big problem for me, and that is I like to eat while I'm moving. I'm not so big on during the day of taking a big break and sitting and stuff because I just want to keep sitting the rest of the day. And it only has 2 pockets on the outside. There's 1 and 2. And obviously, you know, at least one of them is going to be where your water goes. And so there was no easy, convenient place to put things to be able just to grab them as I was going. The other thing that I do when I'm packing, and I know this kind of probably looks silly sometimes coming down the trail, is I will take the backpack from, you know, being on my back, and I will walk with it like this and kind of take my food out or take my water out or take my map out while I'm still moving. And because this only has the 2 outside pockets, I realized that it just didn't work for me. And so that's one of the reasons why I did buy my ultralight backpack. Like a lot of ultralight backpacks, I have the huge pocket, mesh pocket that goes across the front. And so when I flip it around to the back, it's very easy to grab my map, take a look at it. It's very easy to grab my snacks. It's very easy to access the water and stuff. And then when I'm done, I just kind of flip it back around to the back. So again, a silly little thing that I do, but this is the backpack that made me realize that I can't live without that big mesh pocket and other outside pockets. This did make me realize that I did not need the waist strap, and that is something that, as I was looking at the expensive packs, I was kind of stressing a little bit about, because I didn't want to buy a pack with a waistband or waist belt and then cut it off. I didn't want to buy one without a waist belt and then decide that I wanted it. So for the $14, that gave me peace of mind. So, long story short, I would highly recommend going backpack first, especially just to be able to picture the size. My backpack, my regular backpack is huge. I have no idea how many liters it is. I mean, it's well over 50 liters with the extension and with the brain. I don't even know. I mean, it's a big backpack. And so when I was, you know, looking at ultralight backpacks that were in that 40, 36 range, 30 range, it's hard to picture in your head. And so at least when I got this, all right, this was 40 liters, and when I had it fully packed, I realized that I didn't need the brain at all, and I was able to curl it down about, you know, yay so much and just really fill this. So when I bought my final backpack, the Zimmerbilt, that one is 36 liters, and it's whatever it is, it's like 26 inside, and the outside thing is so many. But at least I bought it with confidence, not feeling like I was going to end up wasting my money. So, for anybody else that's transitioning to going ultra lightweight backpacking, I can't recommend enough buying something cheap first. If nothing else, I think it helps motivate you to make you want to squeeze and get smaller things and maybe turn up your timeline a little bit. And at the very worst, you end up with another pack that you can throw in your rotation. I can absolutely, like my Zimmerbilt is 36 liters, I can absolutely see myself like in the shoulder seasons, maybe, I don't know, like late fall, sometime winter, spring, or maybe the Zimmerbilt just doesn't have enough capacity for everything. I would have no issue jumping into one of these for just, you know, short trips. where I don't need all the outside stuff and it's not an inconvenience. So there you go. That's my recommendation. Take it with a grain of salt. And again, this brand, if you can find this, the brand there, is that showing up? And it was a one size fits all. I am 6 foot tall, 200, and this was probably not the exact best fit for me, but it worked just fine. All right, enough of me rambling. Thanks.